Greetings lords and ladies, and welcome to the Westeros vibe, where Sansa doesn't say a word and then complains about not being listened to. Before we start, I would like to remind you that links to every article or video covered this week can be found in the video description below. Also in the description you will find timestamps, so that you can choose which stories you will want to view. We start off the week with Game of Thrones stars discuss life after Hodor's depressing death. At the San Diego Comic-Con, a huge panel of actors were interviewed by Conan O'Brien, and you can watch the video by following the link. Interesting stuff, you should totally watch it. Moving on to spoilers. Game of Thrones actors head to Belfast before Season 7. Apparently the actors in question are Gwendolyn Christie, Brienne, and Ian Glenn, Jorah, which may mean that Jorah may get rid of his grayscale and somehow make it back to Westeros. As for Brienne, she's still rowing, just like Gendry. Next up, check out the 2017 A Song of Ice and Fire calendar. This year's artist is Didier Graffet, and if you follow the link to the article you will see some of the artwork which will go into the calendar. It is quality work and comes recommended. In other news, Isaac Hempstead writes on Bran Stark's coming moral dilemma in other cast interviews. The moral dilemma is the fact that the Night's King touched Bran, thus giving him access to Brendan's cave, thus maybe granting him access through the wall as well. Liam Cunningham talked about the Battle of the Bastards and if him and Mel would meet again. Moving on to Game of Thrones star Jacob Anderson admits, "I won't be disappointed if I'm killed off." He's the actor who plays Grey Worm and he had this to say. "I have no idea what will happen to him. I haven't had any scripts through yet. It's all still up in the air. I'm very glad that I'm not dead yet. It feels like a bit of an honor. But at the same time I don't think I'd be that upset if I die. Because if there's any show in the world that you'd want to die on, it would be this one, as everyone gets good deaths. I just wouldn't want an off-screen death. I just hope he finds some happiness. That's all I want for this character." Next up, Sophie turning on what she's always known about Sansa Stark on Game of Thrones. In her interview for The Hollywood Reporter, she had this to say regarding her character. "From day one, I always saw her as a very strong, very clever girl. Yeah, she was kind of blinded by this fairy tale of King's Landing and the capital and being queen. And I mean, what 13-year-old isn't or would be? I was always like, okay, and then there's gonna be a point where she finally sees everything. All of that knowledge that she's soaked up and uses it to her advantage." In other news, 8 vital bits of Westeros history that Game of Thrones fans need to know. These are the following: Dawn Age, men versus children of the forest, ending in the Pact, by which the children only kept the deep woods and caves, and the men everything else. The Long Night, the White Walkers attack when the first men and children fought side by side against the others, and the last hero defeated them. The Andal Invasion, Westeros has a new ruler. The summary, steel beats iron. The Doom of Valyria. After centuries of dominating Essos with dragons, in one night the Empire was destroyed. War of Conquest, House Targaryen takes over. 3 dragons and 3 riders conquer a continent. Dance of the Dragons, the Targaryens fight each other. Manipulation and egos resulted in dragon genocide. Reign Rebellion, the Lannisters get stronger. Tywin regains his family's honor by destroying the reigns of Castamere. Robert's Rebellion, the Targaryens are extinguished. And so the story goes on. Moving on to Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards was supposed to end differently. The Boltons were supposed to surround Jon's men with a wall of horses for the final stand. Miguel Sapochnik said the following: "Originally we were going to have a lot of horses, like 7 horses deep, and they were going to charge the horses, and then actually surround the allied troops and crush them with the horses. The trouble is, if you run horses at people, they don't like it. The first time they're alright. The second time they're like, I don't really want to run at these people. The third time the horses think, I'm not going." Moving on to the lands of YouTube, we have more videos to mention this week. That is the news for the Westeros.org have released their Season 6 overview. Vassals of Kingsgrave have released Part 20 of their epic reread, covering chapters from April to May 299. Preston Jacobs has released the first part of his Prepping for Winter series, in which he analyzes the release sample chapters, the first one being, of course, Theon 1. That is the news for the week ending on July 31st. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned. Goodbye, everyone. The first one being, of course, Theon 1. That is the news for the week ending on July 31st. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, share, comment, and